But today, just one Jew remains in the entire country. Paula Hancock's found him.
So we're in the centre of Kabul, and we're going after a pretty interesting story right now. Obviously, being based in Jerusalem, I'm pretty accustomed to being surrounded by many, many Jewish people, but there is only one Jewish person left in the whole of Afghanistan, apparently, which I find absolutely staggering. I mean, yes, it is a Muslim country, and obviously Jewish people would probably rather to be somewhere else, but the fact is there is one guy who is refusing to leave. He's got a family in Israel. He's got a wife and 2 daughters in Israel, but he's staying because he needs to look after the synagogue, he's saying. So this is an amazing story. One Jewish guy all on his own, obviously celebrating all the Jewish holidays on his own as well, and we're off to see him now. This is the street that the synagogue is on, but it's something that you would never know unless you actually knew it was here. Let me take you in. It's the most inconspicuous synagogue that I have ever been to in my life. I mean, obviously, you're in the middle of a Muslim country, you're in the middle of Kabul here, so obviously they don't want to make it too obvious. Although he is saying that a lot of the locals know he's here and they actually come and talk to him quite a lot. So there you go, you're off the beaten track here, you're off the street, and the only sign that you have that this is actually anything to do with Judaism, let me see if this actually works on the flip cam. Look at that. On the railings themselves you can see the Star of David, but that is the only sign you will have. If you didn't know this was here, you'd have no clue. The ram's horn, or shofar, announces the start of religious holidays to the Jewish community. But here in Afghanistan, Zablon Simintov is the Jewish community. Zablon Simintov lives alone and prays alone, but he insists that there is nothing lonely about his life. After all, he does have a bird for company. But he clearly misses his family. He shows me photos from 1996 of his mother, who's now passed away, and his 2 daughters, who are now much older than they look here. These photos are old and worn, and he's very careful to put them back into his Torah after showing me. The synagogue has certainly seen better days. Sanjeev, the cameraman, films the broken lights, the smashed windows, and the thick, thick layer of dust on the numerous Torahs in his cupboard. The one thing that Simintov mentions to me more than once, he welcomes any donations. He says he pretty much survives on money from sympathetic Jews around the world. Jews who appreciate him keeping the Jewish community alive in Afghanistan, even if it is a Jewish community of one. Simintov tells me all the locals know him. He says they're all like my brothers here. It doesn't make a difference whether I'm here or in Israel. But under the Taliban rule, he says he was arrested 4 times and beaten while in custody. He tells me the Taliban was a problem. They interfered in everyone's business, but now they're gone. They're finished. Simintov says Jews from Europe and the US come to visit him for Jewish holidays. But when or if he will ever leave Afghanistan is apparently not up to him. He says, finally, I don't know why I'm still living here. It's God's will.